We'll ask Coach Izzo to make an opening statement, then go to questions for Miles and Cassius. Coach?
Well, I thought we got off to a poor start, and that give them credit. And yet the guy that hits the threes were not the guys that normally you thought would make threes. I thought Matthews hits 2 of them, and Simpson hits 1. They had 9 points. And, not the players' fault as much as it is what we were going to do in the scouting report. So they did the job. We just didn't do a good enough job on the scouting report. And then we bounced back and actually played pretty good the rest of the half. But the second half, we just couldn't make any shots, and I think it affected our defense. We missed a lot of good shots. When we had it down, I think it was 4 or 5, and Rockmont crotched in that 35-footer. That was tough. And then I think we had it to 5 or 6, and Nick missed that layup. It's not enough things were going our way, and give them credit. They played well. They didn't shoot it much better than us the first half, but they shoot 66% in the second half and still only shoot 44 for the game. We weren't great, but we weren't bad defensively. Our number one concern was the turnovers, and we had 13-5 on second chance points and 7-4 on points off turnovers. The first game it was 26-7. So we did some of the things we needed to do. We just did not do a good enough job making shots, and they won fair and square and deserved to win.
Questions for the students. We'll get a mic out to you. Start down right here in front.
Question for both guys. Obviously disappointing to lose, but this isn't defining your season. The next tournament is. So how do you take this and just get ready and move on quickly to the tournament type mindset?
Miles, start with you, please.
We're just going to try to move on, get back in practice, and continue to get better.
Cassius?
This is it was a big game, but it's not the end of our season. It's still another big goal that we're very capable of, achieving. So we just got to use this to fuel our fires, I don't think everybody didn't play their best game today, and, we just got to get back. Now it's back to the shop, and we've just become that team that we can become.
Second row on the right.
For both of you guys, when you guys played Ohio State early in the year, and right here, Cash, and you had that loss, it kind of dinged your confidence for a while. How different are you guys now and confident that losing to these guys a second time won't mess with you going forward? And how different are you as a team mentally?
Cassius, start with you, please.
We won, 13 straight. So, we got that ability as a team to make runs and, put wins together. So, this is, like I said, this is a big game for us. But, they came out on top of the victory. But that's not going to alter, our end goal and what we think we're capable of as a team.
Miles, your thoughts?
We know what we're capable of. We're not going to let one loss determine how we play for the rest of the season because we know we have bigger goals ahead.
Other question for the students? Got way in the back.
Yeah, for the players, Miles, what turned the game around early in the second half? You did have a halftime lead.
For the bad or for the good? We just came out really stagnant. Let them get going in three-point line. They like to hit three-pointers. And we allow penetration.
I think it was done here in the third row.
It's every basketball player's dream to play here at the Garden. LeBron calls this his playground. Kevin Durant says the energy of the fans and just playing at the Garden is second to none. What are your thoughts, and what did you love about playing here at the Garden?
Cash, start with you, please.
It was an amazing experience, just to be in such a legendary place and you play in front of all those fans. There's a lot of Spartan Nation out there that came and support us, so it was great playing out there.
Miles?
Yeah, like Cash said, it was definitely great. We're blessed to be here. It's a lot of history here, so we're just blessed to be here.
Got time for one or two more back in the back here.
Guys, what's the mood in the locker room after going 0-2 against the arch rivals from down the road?
Miles?
Our mood is we're really mad, but like I said, we're not going to let this affect us in the future.
Cassius?
I'll just say disappointed. You know, I think it's a lot of things that were in our control that we didn't do, you know, to win these type of games. And we dropped the ball twice. You know, they played pretty well. They had a really good team. So, you know, kudos to them. But there's a lot of things that we could have done to, you know, be better in these games.
We'll take one more if there is one. All right, thanks, fellas. Oh, okay, real quick. You want Tom or? All right, thanks, fellas.
Good job, guys.
All right, now I'll start down here in front for Coach Izzo.
Tom, you've had a lot of teams that didn't win the Big Ten tournament and went on and had great success in the NCAA. How different is it with this group of guys that listen to you so intently, getting them to flip the switch for that next tournament?
Well, I'll be honest. I was really disappointed in how we started out, and kind of like my old buddy Brian Gregory says, what starts bad sometimes ends bad. And it wasn't the start that, you know, Matthews hits 2 threes and Simpson hits a 3. I mean, that's 9 points that they normally don't get. But it was the things that we had in the scouting report on how they drove us, which way they drove us, that we didn't seem to pick up as well as I thought we would. And because of that, you know, and still it was a game, and us not playing our best. I don't know what John felt about his team playing their best, but both of us didn't play real well the first half. They just had a better start. We had a better finish. In the second half, I thought it changed when Wagner hit that 3 in the corner. We acted surprised that he was going to shoot it. I think that put him up 2 or 3. And then something else happened. And then, of course, the missed layup and I guess the good shot from long range. And then we were playing catch-up.
Here on the left aisle.
Tom, Michigan this season is rating higher defensively than it ever has under Beeline. And from your perspective, through the eyes of a coach, in both scouting and execution, can you speak to what you see as true differences with this team this season versus all the other years you've prepped to play Beeline's teams? Well,
I think they're a little tougher, personally. I think Matthews is a great athlete that prides himself on guarding. I think Simpson 100% prides himself on his defense. So you have 2 pretty good defenders in places where, you know, that I think is important. I think the young freshman Livers, I thought does a pretty good job defending, and so I just think they got a couple players that are better defensive players, and maybe, I don't know, their staff still figured out that in the end of the day, you know, you do got to check people well to win, and you know, as evident by our second half. I mean, they shoot 66%. I thought we did. I bet you the last 16 minutes of the first half, we probably held them in the 20s. And we kind of disappeared from that in the second half. So I think his team is a better defensive team. Some of it is players, and I don't know if some of it is his coaching staff and what they did, but I think they are better defensively.
Right side on the aisle.
Tom, you got an 11 or 12-day layoff coming up. Have you ever been through something like that before as a coach, and do you have any ideas on how you're going to kind of keep your guys sharp?
No, I haven't ever been through that. I think, it's 11 or 12 days either way, I guess, or maybe more. What is it, Saturday? If we played on Friday, that could be 13 days, huh? I don't know what I'm going to do. And the best part is we're on spring break next week. So we might just go to the beach in East Lansing and see if we can play a little beach basketball. And, you know, we're going to do something. You know, we talked about doing something in Chicago and going over and seeing Zell play. We might go down and see the Pistons. We might do something as a team. You know, the one thing I would remind everybody, this team has won 12 games in a row and won 29 games this season. And through some trying times, and I think that I'm going to appreciate a lot. Now, do we have to get it back on track? Yeah, we do. You know, Cash struggled out here. He's been playing so good, but he struggled out here. And, you know, we just had some guys that didn't do the things they needed to do, but they've done the things they've needed to do over a long period of time, and I'm going to keep that in mind. Not panic over a loss. When it's your rival, it's always a bigger one. When it's playing for a chance to play in a championship game. Of course, it's a bigger one, but I got a lot of pride in these guys and what they've done and how they've worked through some circumstances that had nothing to do with them, and I'm really pleased with that. I'm proud of them, to be honest with you. So we'll get better. We'll probably practice a lot during that time. I mean, it'll be one time in my life the NCAA has no rules on us. You know, it's we're on break and we don't have any games. That doesn't happen very often. In fact, it's never happened to me. So knowing me, I'm going to take advantage of that.
Good time for one or two more if there is one. Third row.
Michigan State, Michigan is one of the greatest in-state rivalries in college basketball. What do you love about the rivalry and how it that we were able to see that rivalry in the biggest stage in sports?
Well, you asked the question to our players about Madison Square Garden, and I think everybody knows from a coaching standpoint, this was a tough year, the way everything was condensed. But as I said, once you got to Madison Square Garden, the thrill of playing in an arena like this was special. And you know, in all honesty, the way that place was live, I thought both teams brought tremendous crowds here, a lot of alums. And, you know, I didn't think they got a great game, but they got a pretty good game that was played hard and competitive. And so I guess for me, I appreciate being in Madison Square Garden. And for only the second time in this rivalry did we get to play each other in the Big Ten tournament. We did not play good enough to win. They did. Credit goes to them. But the memory and of playing here, I think will be important to our guys as they go through life.
Coach, thanks very much.